I welcome you all for model-driven architecture, MI 2.0, that is meta facility. So, last time we have focused on the principles of meta modeling, the four viewpoints CIM, DIM, ESM, and PDM. And now we will see the internal details of MI 2.0, that is meta model. A meta model is model about model. So these principles were been covered in our previous sessions. So let us go about the MIF 2.0. So meta object facility is sitting at the higher level, highest level that defines the infrastructure library and based on which the superstructure specification exists. Now superstructure specification is covering all of the UML diagrams, that is starting with the uh, structural diagrams or behavioral diagrams, and towards the end how each of these meta models were being composed. So let us take a view at MI 2.0. This was an effort in 2003 and 2004. Official document about 2.4 was been released just few days back, but it required multiple years altogether to work on this aspect. So MIF2 has been an infrastructure library, as you can see, and it speaks about OMG's meta models, right? So here in this case, if you try to visualize, there are multiple interchanges that happens due to the technology mappings, such as XML, that is XML uh, metadata interchange, or related to Java. There is another framework called as EAMF, that is Eclipse Modeling Framework, which is an open source, and based on which you can do some sort of extensions. But these extensions need time to work around. So it has never been a very easy job to create a case tool based on infrastructure library and superstructure library. So let us go ahead with the concepts and goals of MOF. CWM stands for Common Warehouse Meta Model. So the first point of the concerns and goals is ease of use in defining and extending existing and new meta models. Existing and new meta models of software infrastructure. That is about EAI as well. That stands for Enterprise Architecture Integration. Now, if there exists a system consists of input, process, output, and feedback, and system of systems, and then system of systems, which is system families. This is nothing but represented by enterprise architecture, which is at a very high level. So today's concern is EAI. How EAI can be practically realized? It's with the help of SOA, that is Service Oriented Architecture, making the MOF model itself much more modular and reusable. Now, there could be static instances that can be taken up from the diagram perspective. So now let us say you want to draw a class diagram. For that, the class diagram will be terminal model that you will be generating. And let us say there are classes person and company. So these are the names given to the classes. But at the UML meta model level, you have to realize this is that you are taking them, you are deriving from UML meta model, and UML meta model derives it from meta object facility. So reuse has to be extended till you reach to the frameworks. Now, there are two types of frameworks. One is the white box framework and another one is black box framework. That is, it is dependent on the kind of an coverage as well as it is dependent on one more thing, that is at what level you are doing the modifications. Are you doing the modifications at the exterior or are you going to do the modifications internally? So internal modifications are there with the white box terminology, whereas the external modifications, they are being governed by the white box frameworks. So going next is the use of model refactoring. That is, factorization, first of all, you have to understand, that is breaking the whole into the parts right at the first instance. Refactoring means that take the existing factoring and do the factoring or reorganizing it in a different kind of a way. So this might be due to the technologies which are apparently being used, okay, or there could be technology migrations, there could be migrations from the uh, legacy systems to the present scenario. So the influencing factor here is the how you design common warehouse meta model, CWM. Now ensure that MIF 2.0 technology platform independent, and we are aware about platform independence, isn't it? Is that can we hold on the software architecture to be constant and do the modification only at the application layer, or you have to vary the software architecture, right? There is no question about software execution platform that can come in. So there are variety of platforms which are been listed here. Few of them, that is G2EE, .NET, Corba, web services, etc., etc. So MIF, XMI, and JMI, they already define many technology mappings due to the platform independence, isn't it? But the goal is to work around with the interchanges that happens. That is from migrating from CIM to PIM to PSM to PDM, that is platform dependent model. Next is orthogonality or separation of concerns of models. So concerns we have already been aware about. Yeah, so the systems must be loosely coupled so that they can exchange the data, right? You can perform tagging, you can do marking, you can do, let us say, model transformations from source model to target model using the transformation languages. We have seen that there are multiple languages, more than 20. If you look at the literature, more than 20 approaches are been there. Right now, the figure is reaching around 50, right? And only some of them are being popular. That is text to text, text to model, model to text, model to model. So which one is difficult is model to model transformation and realizing the model into source code and later on into executables. MIF 2.0 model reflections using MIF itself, because MIF doesn't conform to anything else than itself. So therefore, the four layers, okay, in that the highest layer is MIF. So for MIF, the reflection has to be there with itself. So now the seventh point concentrates on the concept of identifier, and the lack of this capability made interoperability of metadata difficult to implement. Okay, so this identifier specific kind of an lookout at metadata interoperability. Metadata is of two types: intrinsic versus extrinsic, to remember. So identifiers, even though you are been using person, if it is a class, what identifier you should use? whether you should use 1, 2, 3, 4 like that identifier, or you can have different kind of an identifier generation process, right? Some combination of alphanumeric number you can assign. You can have encoding, decoding kind of an facility. Likewise, all the behavioral diagrams will begin with the letter B. Yeah, all the structural diagrams will begin with the letter uh, the behavioral diagrams with the letters B, structural with letter S, and then you can work on which is the diagram. Now, if behavioral diagram is there, B you have selected. Use case diagram, for that you can have UCD, isn't it? And for state chart diagram, you can have SCD. For sequence, you can have SEQ. But remember that seq was an operator in sequence diagram. So, system sequence diagram, that is SSD, and subsystem sequence diagram, SSSD, right? So, therefore, you are increasing the alphabet by 1. So, how many alphabets will dictate, isn't it the thing? And then the numbering theory that comes in 4 digits or 5 digits, you know that there is a limitation of 25 instances that you can create with the case tool magic draw as an evaluation copy. Reuse of modeling frameworks and bettering the capabilities. So capabilities can be better. Uh, the non-functional requirements aspect to deal with the UML. At present scenario also it doesn't addresses the non-functional aspect. Okay. You can accommodate the design patterns, but the design patterns themselves do not follow any kind of a modeling language. That is DPML or that kind of stuff is not existing. So to begin with, you have got classifier instance, class or object, and you do traversals in 1.4, and in 2.0 you have got only two levels, infrastructure and superstructure. So you can have the services of importing the packages, merging the packages, and standard class modeling concepts, that is subclassing, association, multiplicity, indicating the relationship between two classes, that is with the help of generalization or dependencies or aggregation or compositions. Right? So moving next, this is the onion model, or then the infrastructure, then the superstructure. You are working around with the terminal model. So first you will be referring to the superstructure specification. Then superstructure specification will use infrastructure specification, and that will use the core. Okay. So externally only through the shape you can understand that it is an coconut, isn't it? But inside coconut, what's there? Water is there, okay, and certain delicious stuff is there. So that delicious stuff is there is the core, okay, and then the layering is of infrastructure. Outer layers is nothing but the superstructure, right? That is about onion model. You can see it as coconut also. Before UML 2.0, you were having the domain model. You are modeling with the help of meta model only, and you were having MOF model directly, making it available for modeling. Now, what has been added is UML meta model. So, just see to it how the overall structure looks like. At the exterior, superstructure specification will be there. Then, infrastructure library will come in. That will do the exchanges with the help of MOF core, and it will have abstract syntax expressed in terms of structure, behavior, or supplement. So two type of specifications we need to do this kind of switchings, right, between superstructure specification and infrastructure library. Here, OCL specification, that stands for Object Constraint Language. A separate presentation has been given to you, and that is the homework, right? So OCL is following the same kind of syntax, likewise C++. Yeah, and then OCL is not itself a programming language; it's a declarative language. You cannot run it. Okay, you cannot create binaries, software binaries from OCL specification. DI stands for diagram interchange. How the diagrams are being interchanged? Let us say at MOF level you are having classes, attributes, relationships, etc., etc. The UML meta model has been discussed with you. That has to have the derivation from the infrastructure library. So how you can do that with the diagram interchange specification? DI stands for diagram interchange specification. Next up is, from the user's point of view, the user will refer to the domain model. Okay, the domain model will refer to domain meta model. It will in turn exchange the stories with the MOF. Infrastructure library will include UML infrastructure. That will refer to UML superstructure. UML superstructure is been written using OCL, Object Constraint Language. That is, the syntactic definition is been written with OCL for use case diagram, sequence, state chart. All the meta model definitions for these diagrams will exist, and then the modeling tool will hold the DI, diagram interchange. The job of diagram interchange is to take up the infrastructure library and switch into the UML superstructure, right? And then follow the OCL. So while you are been dragging and dropping a notation, let us say a use case. You are dragging and dropping a use case. What does that mean? You have dragged and dropped. It means that instance of the use case has been created, right? Instance of the use case has been created. Where it is been residing? It is residing with the UML superstructure specification for the use cases, and that is been derived as a classifier from the MOF. So that is been mentioned with OCL. So this is how DI happens. Many of the times, many of the case tools make use of graph theory to do this thing. They interpret the use case as nodes and the relationship as edges, right? So we have seen about that as well. So now, here you can find ABCs. The core will have ABCs. What does ABCs means? Abstractions, basic, and constructs. These are the primitive types. About abstractions you are already aware about. Let us try to see, okay, basics and constructs, right? Now what is being made of primitive types? Abstractions. This is a grab bag of fine-grained OO modeling primitives and extents. Basics, they are been covering basic O modeling concept, likewise class, operation, package, use cases, etc. And sophisticated forms of O modeling concept, likewise state chart, isn't it? This will be there as a construct. So the primitive types can use the data types integer, string, boolean, etc. etc. So now, two of the essential packages, okay, are been existing from the ABC. Just have a look at this diagram very carefully. The core is consisting of ABC, abstractions, basics and constructs. Now, basics and primitives, that is BP, will build EMOF, that is called as essential MOF. And P and C, that is PC, will construct CMOF, that is complete meta object facility. The complete meta object facility is being merged to EMOF. Semantic definitions about all of the constructs that are being there with the diagrams will define the semantic domain, and this will be merged with the EMOF. EMOF is called as essential MOF, yeah, and then this is having basic kind of an facilitations as I had discussed. There are 4 packages that you can observe: common, extension, reflection, and identifier. So, in case of the capabilities, likewise BP, basic and primitive types, they build in EMF, and primitive and constructs, that is PC, they build up CMF. Yeah. One package has been missing over here, okay. Reflection, identifier, extension, one more package has been missing over here. Which one is that? Extension, right? So now let us look at the reflection package first. Reflection, we will see our own reflection, okay, in the mirror, isn't it? What is the benefit of that? An elements object is been created, okay, and that will be the named element, okay. You can see over here basic and reflection from logical view here, and object creation can be done from the element. So this is for discovery and manipulation of meta objects and metadata. What is the purpose? Discovery and manipulation of metadata and meta objects. Now the next thing is element. Element can have, okay, every element has got a class that describes the properties and operations. Let it be use case, let it be nodes, let it be component, and so on and so on. So operations you can have get metadata, container equals to which object, and get the properties of the object, right? Now boolean on the right hand side is an indicator of a return type here. The boolean, okay, our object here. This is the RL element over here, or a class over here, is the return type, okay. In languages like C, we write this return type ahead, okay, of the operation. So exactly reversible path is been there. Get meta class colon class. Class is the return type. Yeah. Next is the exceptions. Set the property isn't that? Yeah. To elements, and there is no return value that can be expected here. Exceptions, throw illegal argument exception, throw class cast expression, then throw class cast exception, throw illegal argument exception. Yeah. So if a property is not member of a class from get meta class, we will use this exception. So exceptions can be raised, okay, for the element. Yeah. Element should have their instances, then and then only you can have the diagrams there in front of you. Now the property has got reflective sequence, right, which returns the nothing, okay, and only 2 conditions are in there, true or false. Typically it returns false. Now semantics, class element is superclass of all the model elements and is superclass of all the instances. So therefore each element can access its meta class. See the name the name, okay, meta classes. C has been in uppercase, right? Meta class. So that is by definition, okay, written in OCR, right? So it returns the interaction between defined values, null is set or unset, right? And then properties, single valued properties and multi valued properties. A single valued properties has a default. It can be set to true or false. It can be numeric. Yeah. It can be non-numeric as well. Multi-valued. When the element is created, it is an empty list. If it is modified, then it is true. If it is unset, the list of elements, then the buffer is been cleared, and again you will see an empty list. So implementations are been possible, okay, and you can have the default changes that can be done. Moving ahead is factory. What is a factory? Factory is an instance. What it is? It is an instance. Instance of what? Instance of meta object facility factory class. So an element may be generated or created from a factory, wherein you have got a package which returns the package for the current factory that you are being considering. This is a separate kind of a principle that is being used. Remember that, not to forget, meta class is being used, okay, to suggest about the classes or object instances. So you can see the create from string. Object creates object initialization. So somewhere design pattern comes in here, okay. Factoring, okay. That is one to many. One factory creates many kind of products, right? So this is coming from design patterns, okay, actually. The format of string is defined by XML schema, and then you can have the recurrence relationship, and then you can go around with the meta class definition to have the instances. And the constraints with the factories or meta objects must be set. It can consist of one or more characters. It can have the properties set for 0, indicating lower bound. If property is 1, okay, then upper bound is required. It can be optional as well. So there are multiple constraints which can be applied with the factories. Identifiers. One element is being distinguished from the another by making use of identifier. So there are practical uses, okay, for object identifiers like OIDs. But at the physical level, we may not get the idea about what's exactly this object ID is about. Okay. Is it alphanumeric number or numeric number or something 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Okay, so we have to have the distinction, right? And then you can also have the facilitation to correlate model elements across the model transformations. Alright? We are aware about model transformation. The principle of map. Okay? The map can be created only with the help of marks. Mark is a PSM concept for which the tagging has to be used. Okay, I have given you the example of Tailor Master and stitching. Okay, so you have got the identifiers. Likewise, I have discussed with you, isn't it? Yeah. For primitive and common. Extent. An extent is a context in which an element is set of elements in a set that can be defined. Okay, so members could be 0 or more extents. Constraints, no additional. changes are there that MIF2 reuses the URI for standardization. Universal resource identifier it is. Universal resource identifier. But the limitation is that you don't have the reference backward. Well, so package, it is the identifier. Its properties are being taken with the IETF URI specification RFC 2396, right? That is request for communication, right? And then changes from 1.4 is none. Property, as we have discussed previously also, it is the ability to designate a property as an identifier, right? And then the URI extent. Okay, so as you all know that URI is a type of string. That string identifies the element. If you are using XML, then you have got multiple kind of segments over here. And one more thing is that whenever you are referencing to RFCs, they are available as a text document. The link is being given. Okay, you can directly copy paste and see what is this all about. Okay, MIF, the common package. These are all the meta models, reflective collections and reflective sequences. Reflective collections are about the accessing the properties in common, right, in order to facilitate reuse. So you can have add the objects, add all the elements. You can have clearing the list, remove the objects, and what could be the size, okay, of the number of objects. And the size doesn't mean anything else than the number of objects in the collection. Reflective sequence, the subclass of reflective collection, it is used for assessing the ordered properties. So here also you can have the operational profiles, okay, to throw the exceptions in case of add, get the objects, remove the objects, and set the object at a particular index. Okay, so that the returning becomes easy. So once you are doing the diagram, you will attempt to save it. Am I right? And again, when you will be opening it, you will wish to extend that diagram. You will wish to have the same kind of a diagram that you have drawn. It will not be something different kind of a diagram. So how it happens is, how that diagram retrieval happens is, that is on the basis of the indices that are being generated for that particular specific diagram elements, model elements. So extensions, as we have seen, this is the view for the extensions. Tagging. Tag represents a piece of information that can be associated. So tagging comes in as an alphanumeric number, right? Or it comes around with the tokenizing concept. Okay, so it could be a named value. It can be tokenized. It could be a named value with 0 or more model elements, right? So we have discussed this, right? The MIF model is used to modeling itself, and it provides platform independent mechanism to specify the shared structure, syntax, semantics of technologies, and you have got shared programming model using the languages which supports this interchange, right, and create resultant metadata. And the sharing can happen in a better way with the help of XML. So all of the web engineering projects, they are using XML as a standard, right? I mean, they are very less inclined to use RDBMS, okay, that we have studied. So XML, they use, there is something called as XSSD, okay, so there is another tough ask to understand. There are ontologies that can be created or classification theories that can be created based on which you can see this migration happen. Uh, with the subset of UML 2.0, it provides concept and graphical notations of MOF model. It has got two categories, two main passages, okay, that is passage created through EMIF and CMIF. CMIF has been merged into EMIF. Again, don't forget BP, basic and primitive, and PC, primitive and constructs. Okay. So, kernel level modeling capability, okay, so having the limited kind of components level. So, references to EMIF are always explicit. You want to draw, let us say, use case diagram, so you have to filter out the notations which are specific to use case diagram. If it is sequence diagram, filter out these notations. So it's not the case that you'll be using an universal kind of a meta model, right? EMIF, now it has been detailing about EMIF. The important stuff is both EMIF and CMIF reuse UML2 infrastructure library. EMIF is allowing simplest meta models to be defined using simple concepts of extensions. It merges the basic package with the properties and creates the reflections, identifiers, extensions. And it is acting as a descriptor for CMIF model, that is complete MIF. So this is again some stuff about EMIF for you. This is how it looks like. EMIF, basic and primitive types. Okay, so it merges common identifiers, reflection and extensions that we have seen. And you can create the merged model. These are the classes of EMIF, and these are the data types. That is primitive type or enumerated one or literal list. Okay, you know the difference between all these data types. And you can have the packages indicating the type and the type of nesting that is been done. So these are the types of EMIF element and then its type element. There are constraints that just try to see to it notationally. The option is disallowed of suppressing the navigation, such as bidirectional association. Okay, so non-navigable associations has to be the part of EMIF. So as I have mentioned that by default association is bidirectional. It means that nothing value add will be there when you are setting up the association. It is open from both the end. That is, if you are talking about multiplicity, it could be 1 to 1, 1 to many, and many to many. Because 1 to many will be visible from another view, many to 1. So that's why many to 1 has been negated, right? And it uses EMIF uses is about the package properties and data types. So what is meant by class? What is the upper bound? If it is 1, then this is for indicating no object is reference, and if it is greater than 1, you have empty list to indicate no objects are reference. Null is not a valid value. Okay, And these are all the definitions that are used in EMF. Okay, so you must have seen that throughout the presentation that there are difficulties in understanding, okay, that how to work out with MIF. Now, therefore, the syntactic level is quite clear. Okay, I have mentioned that the syntax of OCL is very similar to C++. It is because of the point that we have not seen it, we are facing the challenge that we can easily say that we have not understood it. We are not able to get the control out of this, isn't it? But you know C++ better, isn't it? Yeah, double colon, meaning of double colon, isn't it? C++ definition. Instance level, isn't it? That you are knowing, isn't it? So the same kind of stuff has to be referred. So first, you should study UML meta model and superstructure specification. Now, how you can study? Okay, that is a different question. So, too much kind of an syntax and semantics is not being engaged with because of limited kind of an time that is been existing. But there is certain thing called as formal language, okay, and semantics of UML, right? In that, there are variety of approaches ranging from prepositional logic with pragmatics and so on, right? Semantics is one of the way, pragmatics is another kind of way, right? So we are talking about the semantics right now. We are not talking about pragmatics anyway. Okay, so this is CMI for reflection, and this is the reflection package for CMI, and that's what is the end of session. It means, alright. So unless and until, by the way, the UML superstructure specification is of 740 pages. Infrastructure library specifications, they are about 150 pages. So if you take up the sum, it is about 900 pages. So 900 pages, if you want to critically understand how much time it is required to understand and interpret and to practically develop a case tool which is based on these theories is again a different story. So modeling and meta modeling is not just a kind of an science, but it is art as well. Okay, so with this thing, I end of the note with this session. Yeah, so